This is Power Talk 1040. Welcome, Colorado Springs. It's Coach Kris. I'm just going to take a half hour here and hopefully give you the edge you need to get you 1% better. Now, I like to do that with a little help from my friends, and today I have Dr. Grove Higgins back on. Welcome back, Doc.
Thanks for having me back. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Oh, man, especially that bacon we had earlier, right?
Oh my gosh, it was like a steak.
Can't go wrong with that.
Amen.
So Doc was on last time. We got into a little bit of talk about metabolic conditions and things like that. But today what we're going to be talking about is the myths of performance and pain. And again, this is going to be another two-part podcast. So we're going to go talk about myths of performance and pain, and then we're going to want you to hold on for the next week because we're going to be doing some shaking things up again for the medical community once again. So myths in performance and pain. Go ahead, Doc. Tell us what you got.
First of all, man, what are you doing? You're getting bigger.
Right? I think my head's just getting smaller.
Head's getting smaller?
Yeah.
All right. I'd swear you're getting larger through the chest and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. Your training's paying off, so keep that up.
Yeah, thank you.
So obviously you don't buy into a lot of myths about training.
Oh, man. I used to.
Yeah. Well, I think most of us do, right? Until we wake up to it, and then we were like, I'm never going back to that, right?
Right. And
yeah.
it's amazing how much more effort with less time that
right.
it actually takes.
Right. Yeah. No, efficiency. Working out should be fun. That should be one of the number one things, right?
Right.
It should be fun, and you should be able to see results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both on a scale, if that's what you're going for, in your size and your strength. There should be some objective measurement
mm-hmm.
of progress, but it should be fun. And efficient training is fun. It minimizes the damage and maximizes the effects of your training, and that's when you know you're doing it right. And unfortunately, most of the myths that are out there for training, both for just health and fitness type stuff, but also for performance, are what hold people back and make them quit.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. That's one of the Stan Efferding had a great saying. He said, "The best exercise is the one you'll do."
Right.
And that's the one that's fun, right?
Yep.
If it's fun, you'll do it. If you don't like it, you probably won't do it most of the time.
And at the heart of things, we're all children. We like to have fun, and
mm-hmm.
And it pays off when we're having fun. And then the adult in us wants to see results.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're having fun and you're seeing results,
mm-hmm.
you keep coming back, and it becomes a lifelong thing. And that's how fitness really should be. It should be a lifelong endeavor.
Yeah, and if you're having less pain, you're more likely to continue
right.
too, right? Which
Darn
brings us to our first myth: no pain, no gain.
Oh, it's the suckiest principle on the list here. Yeah, the whole no pain, no gain thing. If you're an athlete, you're going to push yourself to certain extents where you are going to feel the burn, right? You're going to feel the effort through muscles and such like that. But so many of us don't know where that line is,
mm-hmm.
and especially if you're not an athlete, you don't know where that is. If you're an athlete, the last thing you want to do is do something today that's going to hold you back from training tomorrow,
mm-hmm.
and so you're very careful about that, and you know what is good pain, right? So
mm-hmm.
that burn in the muscle and such like that, but you avoid the pain that unfortunately most of us have bought into, and especially around the whole HIIT revolution. We bought into that because if you're pushing your body really hard, you're going into that muscle burn, yeah,
mm-hmm.
but that's where you should be stopping, and most of us are going well beyond that. And so then you're hurting for days afterwards, and you're like, well, that must have been progress. Right? But I can't walk up the stairs. Not like a normal human being, at least.
I can't bend over and tie my shoes.
And that just means that you've moved backwards. So you've given yourself a good stimulus to get some progress and to get some effect from your training, but you've also done a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is going to win out in the end, and you're just slowing yourself down. If people knew where that was, or they had worked with a coach that allowed them to know where their limits were and to get the best effect out of their training, they wouldn't be sore. They'd be able to train every day of their lives, and it would feel good.
Oh, absolutely. It's book by Mike Menzer had a great saying about that. It's like watering the garden, right? It can only take so much water. So the weight room is your water, right? You have to allow yourself to give time to grow before you water it again, or else you keep getting that breakdown and you don't get that growth.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what I've been kind of experiencing. That's what you're saying. I've seen you growing. I'm putting in less time, but more effort for less time.
Right. So 15 minutes gets you a huge amount of effect where you may have spent 2 hours in the gym before.
I did.
Right.
I used to, right? Because I did competitive powerlifting for a long time, right? And I fell in that same line of no pain, no gain. So I was spending, 3 hours in the gym, easy, right? Trying to prepare for competition. And I remember waking up in the morning going, oh my God, my back is so stiff. I can't even move. And it was primarily my right side. And I knew that should have been a red flag to be like, maybe I should do something about this, balance out a little bit. But then you go to the gym and everybody's like, yeah, I did deads yesterday. My back's just really stiff. So I'm just thinking, we are back with a Cerebral Edge on Power Talk 1040 KPPF, talking to my good friend, Dr. Grove Higgins from Neuro Athlete. And we're going over myths of performance, fitness, and pain. And right before he left off, Grove was talking about how it could be your hormones. It could be your hormone panel that's off, is why you're not gaining the results or getting the gains you want to get, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are some ways people could test to see if their hormones are off, or some things that they could, essentially have to take home and go, maybe I better check this out or that out?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first thing you look for is, are you recovering from your workout? There's some signs and symptoms that things aren't working right, that you're always hurting a little bit. Your energy levels are low, even though you get enough rest and you're doing all the right stuff, right? You're not getting results from your exercise and such like that. Motivation and behavior too. If you're starting to find that you're, more cranky, you're just not motivated to play with your kids, stuff like that. There's clear signs that the hormones are off, and it might mean that you need to, change something in your life stress-wise and whatnot. But that's affecting your hormones too. There's a lot of things that affect your hormones, and such. But then you can go to that next stage of saying, okay, I really want to fix this, and I want to be precise. I want to figure out what's wrong, so that way I can fix this. And you can go to your doctor, and you can have them test, and it's becoming more and more common anymore. Get your testosterone and other hormones tested. Get a full metabolic panel, which is things like thyroid and thyroid stimulating hormone and such like that. Because if your hormones are off, nothing works right. You put good food in your body and it doesn't respond to it. You put good exercise in your body and good rest and all these good things, and nothing really works well. So if you're getting to this point where you're just like, am I just getting old? No, your hormones are probably off, right? I had a young lady come in, just 31, a couple days ago, and she's having focus issues and brain fog and anxiety and blah blah blah, all these things, and she did get a diagnosis of some ADD, ADHD type stuff and things like that. But we're sitting down, we're talking about it, and start talking to her about all of the things I just mentioned and how's her gut feeling and such like that. And I'm like, let's get your hormones checked, because you can put the right drug into the body, for the ADHD or for anxiety and depression and whatnot, and it still doesn't work. And guess what? Hormones aren't working. It's like putting, having the soup that isn't made right. It's not going to taste good, and you're going to throw it away. And that's what your body is. It's a collection of really complex systems and such like that don't need to be complex once you know what's wrong and you fix those problems. And then everything starts getting easier, and you want to play with your kids. You want to go to the gym. I can't tell you how many firefighters I've worked with over the years where they're just like, my job is physical job, but I hate going to the gym. It just takes so much energy, and I have nothing to, and then I hurt afterwards and such. And we start getting these things fixed, and all of a sudden they find themselves in the gym. They didn't even think about it.
No.
They just have all this energy, and they want to be in the gym. And then I have the wife that calls me up or sends me, it says, I haven't told my husband this, but I think you saved my marriage. And my husband now is understanding. He's kinder and calmer and things like that. So it can affect so many parts of you. And so don't start blaming yourself. But as soon as you start hearing other people saying, boy, you're a mean son of a gun, or you're ornery, or why are you so depressed and something, okay, think the hormones first, and go get some tests, ask your doctor, and if they won't help you, go someplace that will.
Yeah. So what are some of the primary hormones that you find are off more often than not?
Well, we're finding a lot of people, this is men and women, testosterone's off on a lot of them, but that's usually a hormone that's off. Thyroid is really a big one. But and we'll talk more about this in future episode. Most people are having problems with insulin management. They're getting too many carbohydrates, too much food in, and they've become insulin resistant. So nothing works right, right? And everything's uphill and such. And then you can go and you can get testosterone supplement put in, bioidentical hormone put in that should be helpful, and it helps initially, and then all of a sudden it kind of fizzles and such like that. Those are good signs that your insulin's off, your metabolism's off, and there's a bigger problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, there oftentimes seem to be, symptoms that people treat instead of the root cause, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the proximal symptom versus the ultimate cause. If you're going after the cause, you're going to fix the symptom. But unfortunately, medicine tends to, and people tend to go after the thing that's most obvious. Yeah. So I have low energy, so I'm going to put caffeine in. Okay, good. What next?
Now what?
Right? We haven't fixed the problem. You don't have a caffeine deficit. There's no such thing, right?
Yeah, people say adrenal burnout, and it's like, you have enough adrenaline in your body to fuel it for 300 years.
Oh, amen.
And people understand that.
Yeah. And testosterone's the same thing. I mean, if your testosterone's fallen off, there's got to be a cause. And so just putting testosterone in doesn't fix the cause. It supplements a deficiency, great, but what next?
Right, what next? So then it's the same thing with people when I hear back pain, right? So here's another one that I've got, right, is one of the myths is that core exercise is all you need to keep from having back pain.
Right. And the back is one of those areas that has referrals from your gut and the viscera, all the organs in your soft spots in your chest and abdomen can refer to the low back. There's a lot of mechanical things that can go wrong in the back, and sprains and strains and all that. But emotionally, guess what? Because all human beings will have back pain, we're good at back pain.
Yeah.
So then when you're stressed, guess where your brain tries to get your attention sometimes?
In your back.
In your back, right. So, getting a strong core is super helpful, but you have to be able to move well first, and then getting you strong, breathing well, and then addressing all these other issues that we've talked about. Because, you might need to have somebody look at your gut and say, what's going on there, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't tell you how many people that have bad guts and they just chalk it up to, I'm just getting older and I can't eat that anymore. Right? And no, there's a problem there. And if you're having back pain and you have gut issues like that, tummy ache after you eat bread, or you can't eat greasy food anymore, things like that, your gut's wrong, and it might be causing your back pain too.
And again, that's what kind of gets me so angry, is that people look at just symptoms and they don't sit there and look for the root cause.
Yeah, but I mean, you being a lay person across the table from me here, how would you know? Right? How would you know? You trust your doctor, you trust trust the health professionals that you go to know. But they get caught up in it too, unfortunately.
Right.
And because they are pressed for time and they have a volume of patients that they need to see every day, unfortunately the human element pops in, and you go to the lowest common denominator cause and you throw a dart at it hoping that you're going to hit it. Right. And if you do, great, we fixed it.
Right. But
you don't go any farther.
Don't go any further than that.
Right. So you just take Prilosec and your stomach gets better, and guess what? Your back pain goes away too. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. Or it's like, well, maybe it could be from dysfunction of other musculature, right? Like, say, glutes, right?
Right.
So glutes is like, probably 90% of the people that I have with back pain have a glute deficit.
Right.
And all of a sudden you fix that, and then they're a lot better, and they can reflexively stabilize. But you go to your doc, and they're like, here's a pill. Right. They're like, how come they don't know how to fix this problem? It's like, well, they're really good at medicine, but they're not really good at human movement.
Right. And there's too many things to look at all at one time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, this has been great. Thanks for coming on, Doc. How do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can go to neuroathletechiro.com. Or they can call us up at 719-225-4949. We do free consults for people if they're curious as to whether or not we can help them. We can do those online and virtually, or we love doing them in person, because a lot of times being right there, being able to see it and see how you move tells us just a ton and whatnot. But reach out to us one way or the other. Even if you just have questions, we'll entertain them, and we'll see if we can put put you on the right track.
Oh, absolutely. Doc is amazing at what he does. He's helped me several times for sure when I can't figure out what's going on with me. And as always, if you want to get a hold of me, you go to cerebraledgeperformance.com. If you have questions for the show, just type in cerebraledge, the number 1 at gmail.com. That's email. Email me with any questions that you might have. This has been the Cerebral Edge on Power Talk 1040. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that what you heard today will help make you at least 1% better, because 1% better every day adds up. Join me next weekend right here on Power Talk 1040. I'm back here again with Dr. Grove Higgins for part 2. I'm Coach Kris. Until then, stay strong.